Now, I'm assuming at this point that you've got Windows 7 installed and you've been able to get all your files onto this computer, including picture files, etc. Because we're gonna need some picture files in order to start customizing what we've got here. This is very similar to what you're going to see when you boot up your machine. And this area, this big area, of course, is called your desktop. And the reason they use desktop is the analogy being it's like your real desk in a sense that you can open things and put it on top of the desk, and yet the desk stays there. So regardless of how many applications and files you've got open, your desk is still back there someplace, whether you see it or not. This is the main part. Down here, this is called your taskbar. And your taskbar in this version of Windows comes with 3 preset shortcuts. One for the internet, one being Windows Explorer, and Media Player is the third one that is going to be included. This here is your start menu. So very similar to prior versions. So now you hit your start menu, and your start menu has changed quite a bit. However, it's similar. On this side here, you've got recently used programs, stuff that you might have used. Okay, stuff that I've used very recently are on here. Some of them are preset and predetermined as far as they're always going to be there. The top area here is new. This is called a pinnable area. You're going to hear the word pinning a little bit because we can pin shortcuts here. We can also pin shortcuts to your taskbar now. So I'm going to go to all programs here. It's got all the software that I've got included on this machine in here. And if I wanted to, I would be able to take one of these applications and I'd be able to right click and I'd be able to add this to the start menu. So that'll go to the very top. So now when I go back, I have that application added to the very top of my start menu. Okay. I'd also be able to pin one of these to the taskbar and add it to the taskbar. So I can right click and say, I want that added to the taskbar. So those are 2 ways of adding shortcuts. The third way, of course, would be to find the application and then put it onto your desktop. We'll go over that now. So I can go to all programs and you would find the application that you want added to your desktop, and you would right click on that, and this one is send to desktop create shortcut. Now the difference between having a shortcut here and here, there are quite a few of them actually. The first one being this is double click, this is single click. We're going to need to set up our machine to do some pretty special things before we can see what else this will do. Just want to point out one other area before we get into personalizing and customizing the way Windows works for us. This area here is called now the notification area. And software that you install on your computer can no longer park itself down here. All right, this is like kind of a protected area, and it is for notifications, and it allows you to do certain things but not a whole bunch, right? Such as change your speaker volume, check the date and time, check your power, that kind of stuff. I want to mention before I forget that right clicking in Windows always produces a menu. Now the menu you're going to get is going to vary depending on what you're doing at the time. It's almost like summoning a butler. When you right click, a butler shows up and says, would you like one of these things? And they're trying to guess what it is you want, which is why the menu varies every time you right click depending on where you are. If you get a menu that you don't want and you want to get rid of it, there are 2 ways of getting rid of it. One of them is your escape key, your ESC key, which is usually at the top left of your keyboard. And the other is just clicking off. Just click away from the menu and it will go away. As far as personalizing this thing is concerned, we're going to go back to the start button and we're going to go to the control panel. And if you've used Windows in the past, you've seen this control panel, and this is where you can access a lot of different things about how your computer is going to run. We're going to now go to user accounts. And the first thing you're going to want to do is set up an account, at least for yourself. I've already done this so that I can actually use this machine. And you could set a password if you'd like. That way somebody can't just log in and go right into your stuff, so you can password protect it. You can create as many new accounts as you want, with or without passwords for the other people using the account. You'll be able to set a picture, which is why it's a good idea to, of course, download all of your files so that you can start customizing everything. So a lot of basic things that you can do as far as setting up a user account. If I were to create a new account, you could put the username and then create the account. I'm not going to do that right now. It's really, really easy to do, and it doesn't even warrant a lesson, to be honest. However, what does warrant a lesson is the appearance and the personalization. So I'm going to go into, rather than just change one thing at a time, I strongly recommend you go straight to change the theme. And from here, we can change several things all at once. The first thing I noticed is a lot of the things I saw in the commercials for Windows 7 were not available when I started. I was very disappointed. I thought, did I not buy the right version? I'm using right now the home version, their home premium version. And what I wasn't seeing, we'll get into shortly, but the first thing you need to do is make sure you choose one of these arrow themes. Okay, so this is what I've done. I've chosen the Windows 7 arrows, and hopefully the video caught that. It just made some noise and it's showing me a new display. And from here now, I went ahead and I customized my desktop. So these are the 4 things that you can now customize. The 3 big ones being the desktop, the sounds, and the screensaver. So go to the desktop right now, and you can change the picture that's going to be on your desktop. Okay, once again, the desktop being this thing over here. Okay, you can choose one of theirs. They got some neat little pictures. However, you can find some of your own. So go and browse and find your folder and maybe find the files where you've put your pictures. And I created a folder just for background pictures that I liked. Now you may have 20 or 30 pictures to choose from. You can select all, you can deselect whichever ones you want. The idea here being you can choose one picture, or you can choose several, and here you can have the picture change so that you're not looking at the same picture all the time. It's a neat little feature that I like a lot. And typically you're going to want your picture to fill the whole background, so it'll stretch it in such a way. So you're going to want to choose a picture with really high resolution. Okay, so this is a really high quality picture taken on a digital camera at the highest setting. So this way, when it takes up the screen, it's not going to be pixelated, it's not going to be fuzzy. So those are things that you're going to want to keep in mind when you're choosing. So here I'm going to pick these 2 pictures, and then I'm going to say Save Changes. So now I have this new unsaved theme, and this is the one that I'm going to get when I'm done. You can come to Sounds now. So we're doing all of this inside of this one theme. You can come to Sounds, and they've got a whole bunch of different sound categories. Now, I haven't been through all of them. To be honest, I really like this Windows default. It's subtle, nothing crazy, but you choose. Spend some time with your computer and set it up so that you like it the way you've got it set up. And then when you hit it, OK, and then you can set a screensaver if you'd like. We're not going to bother for the sake of keeping this lesson rather brief. And now you'll be able to give this a name. You'll be able to save this theme and give it a name. You can have several themes. And when you come back to themes, you can just say, you know what, I've seen this theme long enough. I want to go to that theme. You can have different themes for different seasons. And when you're doing this, you're doing it for this user only. So if you're sharing this computer with someone else, they can come in and change the theme and set the theme for themselves. So when they log in, they're going to get their theme. For now, I'm going to choose this water theme. And then when you're done, you close. And you've got your theme set up. Now that I've done that, a lot of the options that were available as far as the commercials were concerned are now showing up. And one of the big ones being when I come to the taskbar, I can actually see previews of what it is I have open. So I have Windows Explorer open in the background, and now I can see the preview. There are other reasons why I wanted to choose that kind of a theme, and again, but I'm going to get into in the next lesson. But again, I just want to repeat that I was in here and we went to change the theme, and make sure you choose one of these arrow themes. If for some reason they're not available, it's probably because the computer you're using is a little dated and may not have the hardware required to run these properly, which would be unfortunate for you. However, mine came loaded with this basic theme and it wasn't any fun at all. So the first thing you want to do is change that, and I'll get into what we can do with these themes now in the next lesson.